Hey everybody, hey, it's Dr. Julie. I'm trying to figure out, I apologize, trying to figure out there all of a sudden we're at a weird angle today. I don't know, I've got a plant in my head. Let me move. There we go. All right, so today's topic is going to be talking about like multiple strabismus surgeries. So I've had multiple surgeries and I still have an eye turn. Now what do I do? I actually just had this conversation today with a patient, and I've had this conversation at least on a weekly basis. I sometimes feel like it's daily. So let's just kind of debunk some things today and talk a little bit about it. So the problem with strabismus surgery is that really what we're doing is that we're typically tending to lengthen a muscle, or we're cutting and extracting some tissue from a muscle. And so the idea behind that being that we can cause the eye to line up in a more straight position as opposed to turning in or turning out. Well, the problem with that is that a lot of things can happen. And so if we want to think about our eyeball like almost on a tetherball with all of these muscles coming in from the sides, from the top, from the corners, we've got muscles coming in, okay, and then this eye is kind of spinning and rotating with all of those things. You know, the eye's moving nonstop, like all the time, just like our heart is beating nonstop all the time, and our lungs are moving, contracting, and you know, taking in air all the time and pushing air out all the time. And so the eyeball itself is actually moving nonstop. It never stays stationary. It's always moving. So how do you take an always moving target and appropriately try to fix and correct those muscles? You might notice some different sound here as this, goodness, all of the air sound went away here in the office all of a sudden. The heat finally turned off. It was super loud. But anyway, what happens is that you've got a situation in which this eye is kind of on a tetherball. It's moving all around. It's very difficult to isolate and just correct only those muscles and get it just so exact that you don't cause some torsion, maybe at an angle, kind of more at a diagonal, or even most of the time what we end up seeing post-strabismic surgery is a lot of vertical deviations of the eye, just based on what we're doing with the muscles. Okay, so it's very common for me to hear, I've had one surgery. Within a couple of years, my eyes went right back, they're crossed again, and now I need to have my second or even my third or my fourth surgery. Okay, and even if we're talking about eyes going out, and then sometimes we'll hear the opposite thing, like I've had surgeries, multiple surgeries for my eye turn in, and now all of a sudden my eye's going out. Okay, what the heck's going on there? Well, the brain is actually just mis-signaling. So there's a lot of problems going on. And as you've had more surgeries, a lot of times what can actually end up happening now is you might have contracture of the muscles because of scar tissue. So the brain gets mis-signal information about suddenly, where are my eyes at in space? I'm not in control of these muscles anymore. You literally just took a chunk out of them, and I'm not quite sure how to position the eyes. So that's often the reason why we see the brain misalign the eyes again. In surgery, we tend to wrongly think that if we just correct the muscle, we're correcting everything. But it's not the muscle that's the problem. It's actually the brain that's the problem as the control center for the muscle that is the issue. So if we do more than one surgery, is that really going to do it? Is that really going to make the brain figure out what to do with the eyes? Well, the answer to that one most of the time is no. So now if you know someone who's had strabismus surgery, or maybe is even contemplating it, I would love for you to tag them in this video and tell them you've got to see this video, because we want to try to get to kids and help them out before they've had those 3, 4, 5 surgeries, and believe me, it's happened a lot. If you've had one surgery or multiple surgeries, please don't think that there's not anything that can be done about that. Often the case is that someone will start saying like, you know what, there's got to be a better solution out there. I've done like 4 surgeries and I'm still having problems aligning my eyes, or maybe I'm having struggles still with depth perception. Maybe we're talking about your child and you're thinking, gosh, what the heck do I do? And many times the answer is go to the internet, right? And start researching and finding out what are some alternative treatments to this. So it's not uncommon for doctors like myself who do this to get that phone call saying, we've already had 3 surgeries. I wish I would have found you before. Okay, what our goal is to provide a functional cure or a functional change for the vision system by telling the brain what to do differently to line the eyes up. We cannot erase any of the past things that have occurred. I can't make the fact that you've had surgery go away, nor can I make the fact that you've had an eye turn go away. The brain knows those patterns, just like, you know, we make that saying, we say it often, like, once you know how to ride a bike, you'll never forget, right? Well, the reason why is that your brain has actually been hardwired to know how to do this task, and you're not going to forget it, short of something serious happening to you, like car accident or head injury. Okay, you're not going to forget it, but when you have had multiple surgeries, your brain gets confused and muddled of like, what do I do with the eyes? How do I position them? What's going on? So you can't erase the fact that you've had surgeries. You can't erase the fact that you've had an eye turn, but through vision therapy, you're providing a new pathway for the brain to control the process of vision better. And we're trying to make it so fantastic and so amazing that you can keep up with that. Kind of like after you've had braces, you wear a retainer in your mouth. After vision therapy, you can keep up with that by using retainer activities to make sure the brain stays in this correct pattern, right? So this is what is really important. This is your take home. All right, so again, if you know people who've had strabismus surgery, you yourself are considering it, or you know someone who's considering it, it's very kind and loving to pass along the information. What they do with it is totally up to them. And that's all you can do is pass on the information, but tag them in the video and say, hey, I think you should watch this. There might be some other options. Okay, vision therapy and even photosyntonics or light therapy is designed to be able to retrain the brain on what it needs to do that maybe it's not doing accurately or efficiently. And so we're retraining the brain what to do in terms of positioning the alignment of the eye, what to do in terms of positioning the muscles of the eye, what to do in terms of how to judge depth, side vision, tracking, alignment of the eye. I mean, all of these things, right? So the brain has to relearn this, and it has to relearn how to use these two eyes in the correct position, not the wrong or faulty position. And so regardless of one surgery, two surgeries, three surgeries, it does get really hard after multiple surgeries. Again, because not only have you just confused the brain all around so many times with the signaling and alignment of the eyes and what you're doing, like positioning of the muscles, but now you also have the potential for contracture of the muscles just because of scar tissue. That gets really, really tricky. There's so many things that can happen. We get all kinds of vertical, again, eye movements where the eyes will now permanently maybe be displaced vertically up, or even like a cyclotorsion where instead of just going vertical, they kind of rotate in and up, or out and up as I was showing you. So there's so many tricky things, but just know that there's never a time when we should say that we're totally hopeless. There's never a time when we should just say there's not any more that we can do. We should always be making attempts to work through these things and to retrain your brain. So if you found that valuable, I would love it if you guys pass this on. And, I got a little distracted there in the beginning with the crazy plant and the volume of the air, the heating and stuff, but hopefully you stuck with me and you were able to watch. So now I want to do the fun thing. I have to kind of bear with me as I kind of move this over. I'm breaking my desk apart apparently. Ugh, I have a big box. Oh, I did literally. I literally like tore some of the laminate off of my desk. Oh no, it's a heavy box, y'all. Okay, so, oh well, that's the price we pay. So for now, we're going to do a little unveiling, and let's see if I can actually adjust the camera, so bear with me as I get a little closer to the camera. Let me just kind of pan down just a little bit if we can. Bum, bum, bum. And then I might have to scrunch, but hey Jill, good to see you on here, and Darren, thanks for joining in. You can kind of sort of see my box, maybe just a little. Paper coming out, crinkly paper coming out, and on the inside, and I don't have the camera turned around. Oops. All right, I was too excited. But this is the new book. So I'm super excited. This is the book, Living the Energized Life, that I actually had a part in. And on the back here, all these beautiful, amazing, fantastic entrepreneur women who had a part in this book as well. And so I authored one of the chapters in here. In fact, let's see if we can pan in. That's me right there. Ah. So my name on my first book, right? Pretty exciting. I'm super excited about it. We actually have in the works 2 more books. I hope The first one will be available in February. That is my plan and my goal at this moment. So I'm putting it out there. You guys have to hold me accountable, right? And ask me, when is your book coming out? My second book. All right, but this is really exciting. This is a lot of hard work from so many women and so many people who were just inspired to be a part of this book. And I'm so thankful and grateful to Kathy Davis and her group with just giving me the opportunity to be able to be a part of this amazing book. And so, you know, it's our first chance sometimes for some of us women to be able to put our name on it and say, stamp, I've actually written a book or had part of writing a book. And so this is a pretty big deal. We actually have next Wednesday on the 29th, it's kind of like our major unveiling online. It's going to be a really big launch party online, and people can actually attend it. You should be able to find links on my Facebook page here, and certainly if you go to our website, you should be able to find information there as well. And for a copy of our book, you can contact our office and let us know that you're super interested. You can go to our website and contact us there. You can send a message here. You can email if you have my email address. Any of those ways is great way to contact us, and we're super excited. I will be personally writing in each of the books, of course, so I will be happy to give you a signed and autographed copy. And for more information about that, you can contact our clinic. The books actually, they are retailing for $14.95. If you can pick it up, is fantastic. Let us know if we would need to ship it to you. That's a little bit different. And anyway, thank you so much, guys, for joining in today and being part of this little unveiling and little bitty talk that I had to do, and maybe a rant even, and talk a little bit about strabismus surgery. And so I'm super blessed to be able to be a part of this book, and thank you so much for joining in. And guys, make your day awesome. All right, see ya.